Oh boy.
Your orange hat looks beautiful in this light.
This hat has power, I think.
It's definitely electric.
You can see it from afar.
Yeah.
I bought this for the Pheasant Ranch when I went out there.
Oh.
All right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lori, and I am the host of this little show. If this is your first time here, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending the next half an hour or so with us. My name, again, is Leah Lori, and I am joined today by my spouse, Lori.
Hello.
And this podcast has historically hosted local dog handling professionals. We have sat down and talked about our lives, dogs, and careers. It's a great place to get to know some local pros. As of the end of 2022, I took a step back from that mission and goal, and Lori and I sit down and do deep dives on specific dog training and handling topics, which is generally pretty fun, well received. And today we wanted to just give a little debrief of some stuff that's been going on over the past month, because it's been about a month since we have had the chance to sit down and talk together. And also talk about a specific topic regarding resources in public, resources that you would use or present to your dog, and when you're using those resources in public, some problems that it can present. But before we get into that, what's on your mind, Lori?
Nothing. I'm just sitting here
Yeah.
petting Buddha and listening to the story.
Yeah, Buddha is so cute. He's sitting there so nice. Can I take a picture of you guys?
Oh, I love pictures.
You have him on your sweatshirt. You're like the ultimate dog lady right now.
Oh, no.
You are. And oh, come on, Buddha. Come on, Bubba. Yeah, it's a good boy. You're really getting the ins.
Pictures.
How we do pictures. Crazy dog ladies. Oh, so I was reading this book. Actually, I was listening to it. So there's an author called C.S. Lewis. I don't know if you are religious at all, but C.S. Lewis is like the Christian canon outside of the Bible, if you're like an evangelical Christian. And he wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Have you ever heard of those books?
Yes.
Okay. And he also wrote a lot of wisdom literature. And during World War II, he would do these radio addresses and kind of try to hype up the English people because life sucks so bad, and try to kind of bring them back into the fold, so to speak. And anyway, he was talking in Mere Christianity about frivolous people. And one of the things that he mentioned was, it's like a woman who cares too much for her dog. Talking about somebody who
Wow.
whatever. I was like, oh my God, that's me.
Well, he doesn't sound that great.
No, yeah, I had to read between the lines on that one. It's a bucket list book. It's one that I was supposed to read back in the day, and it popped up on my Audible. I'm like, I'm going to suffer through this. And there were some really great points. There were also some very dated and interesting material, but this is not a book review of Mere Christianity, which I don't necessarily recommend to anybody that isn't a Christian or into that type of thing. But I was listening to it, and he had something to say about women who care too much for their dogs, and I just had to have a chuckle.
We're great people.
Yes, we are.
Women who care for their dogs. Mr.
Well,
C.S. Lewis.
I think that we are.
Go pound sand.
He also had a whole diatribe in that book about marriage, and then towards the end of the chapter says that the dude's not even married.
There you go.
So
what a shock. What a shock. Moving along.
Anyway, let's see what's been going on. So there's been a couple of things that I've been up to in the past month. Lori, you have kind of hit this cruise control, I feel like.
Yeah, I have.
Which is really nice to see.
I haven't. I'm not competing. I have not competed.
Yeah, why?
Well, I'm still... I finished the goals I had. Now I'm just going to practice for utility. I'm going to do it, but I don't know if I am. We were working on our articles yesterday and today. I promised myself I'd do a little bit every day. I kind of lost the oomph to do it because I was trialing like crazy and didn't realize how fast I was moving through 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of shocked me when I stopped.
Mm.
So anyway, here I am just moving about, taking care of dogs.
Mm-hmm. Well, you kind of had a breakthrough day yesterday with the articles.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But he did choose the dumbbells I had scented.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was amazing. And I saw a true effort from him sniffing them, which gave me hope. Because the other exercises, I just have to, I have to work on my go out. And I have to work on those dumbbells, just making sure that he's reliable and scenting the dumbbell I chose. And then, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't do it if he was doing all the exercises. I mean, what happens in the ring is completely different, but as long as during practice, he's, 98, 100%, then I'll do it.
Yeah, it's interesting with the articles because basically they're presented so the articles are little dumbbells and you just have wooden, and some of them have wooden ends and some of them have leather ends. Is that the set that you have? Yeah. Okay, so there's a bunch of them, and they're small dumbbells, just big enough to fit in the dog's mouth, and they're kind of in a pile, and the handler scents one of them, and then the judge puts them in the pile, and obviously the dog doesn't know which one it is, has to find it. But for me, not really knowing much about training it, I just think it's interesting to see the dog slow down when they reach the pile, search for the one that they're supposed to find, and then retrieve it. It's a thinking game. And yesterday when I came in from, I don't know what I was doing, but you were like, he ran up to it and started sniffing. Like he was really trying. And that's so cool. I can foresee myself struggling with that big time because this is a technique that's in conflict with a lot of the pile work that I do in retriever training. So in retriever training, when Raven goes up to like a pile of bumpers, let's say, I've put kind of a lot of effort into getting her to just grab the first one that she sees. Like stuffing her face as soon as she sees that pile with whatever's there, not shopping around for one that she prefers. Actually, today, part of our training was I put a pile of different bumpers because she has preferences. She loves those Hexa bumpers, the little ones, the black and white ones. Like they're easy. They're smaller than the larger ones. So I put everything in a pile, and the name of the game was like, just go and grab the first one that you see. And so I can see how working in that context versus working with the articles is going to be very different if I choose to try to train for utility. So the articles in utility are really cool. Just watching the dog kind of work and sniff around and find the right one and turn down the energy and turn up the brain it's really neat.
I think that's why I was excited. He was sniffing it. I go, oh, he's getting it. He knows that he has to. He did want to grab the first dumbbell he saw, and then this is when I first presented the dumbbells to him, and I thought, oh, he's not going to do it. And then when he grabbed the wrong one, you have to tell the dog, no, not that one. And I was internally dying. I was dying inside because I had taught him. It took me so long to teach the dumbbell for him to hold it nicely. All these things with the dumbbell, and now I'm telling him, oh no, but not that one. and Pat said to me, don't worry, it's I don't know, maybe I forgot what word she called me. She's like, it's ridiculous, don't worry about it, it's very contextual to the dog, it's completely different, where it is very different. His competition obedience dumbbell is so different from his article dumbbells, so I'm not worried about it. And then once I saw him sniffing, I knew I was all right.
Yeah.
I was excited because I haven't been excited in a while.
Yeah.
For training.
Yeah. It's been a little bit of a lull.
Just is what it is. Sometimes I need a break, so I'm taking a small break
ebbs and flows. Now I'm running around like my pants are on fire.
Right,
so.
which works for me because I'm like, where are you going this weekend? And I'm just hanging out with all the dogs.
I'm pretty sure we did a
them.
podcast in November or December, though, where when you had just got your rock and you were like, thank you for staying home while I ran around. And then you said, well, you're going to be running around soon. And I was like, yeah, whatever. That seems so far away. And then 4 months later, I'm like, running around.
Mm-hmm. I watch you, I wave. See you later. I just go to my Sunday practice, my Tuesday nights, and I call it a day.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Got to take care of the dogs. Sorry, everybody.
Mm-hmm. I know. So the week that we got our CD title, the week after, I took a trip out to New York and met up with some of the Retriever Roadmap people, which was super fun. Met up with one of their teams and we went to a Pheasant Ranch. And it was an opportunity for me to work with live birds. And that's something that Raven and I have not been able to do. Just because you just need to know the people and make the time and have the birds and have the equipment and stuff like that. And it's a real culture, you know. A lot of the people that are in the LRCGB club, they're also like really good friends. And they're spending a lot of their free time together working their dogs. And at this point in my life, I don't have very many really close friends that I can just call up on a whim and say, hey, you want to go
to the Pheasant Ranch?
Yeah, to the Pheasant Ranch. So I drove out to New York and we went to the Pheasant Ranch and got Raven on some live birds. And overall, it was a net positive experience. And it was so funny to me how different a weekend can make. One weekend we're trialing AKZ, the next I'm like driving to New York in a snowstorm, freezing my butt off in the field with strangers I don't know shooting guns over me. It's like, oh, okay.
That's nice.
Kicking a bird out of a box.
So gross. So gross.
It's not gross. It's life.
Well, dead birds aren't anything to look at, I'll tell you that. It's been a real trial.
Yeah, that's another thing that's been really tough for Raven and I. So also to give you more context, if this is your first time listening, I'm so sorry. You're probably like, what the hell are these broads talking about?
She kills birds.
No. So I have my very first working Labrador Retriever. Her name is Raven. She's about 18 months old. I thought she was younger, but I did the math and she was 18 months old. And I've gotten into formal retriever training, which is like super fun, but it also requires you to train with actual like dead birds. And to do any of the field work and the field trialing and stuff like that, the dog has to pick up that item as a retrieve. So we practice with, bumpers, which are the like rubber tubes kind of, and we practice with other types of like decoys and stuff like that. But ultimately, in order to either really hunt or to compete, your dog has to pick up those birds. And I was talking to my good buddy Carlos, and he reminded me that not all dogs love to pick up birds. And Raven is a dog that does not love inherently in her soul to pick up birds. It was from when she was really little. She was just, or you remember that one time in the yard we were working together?
Yes. How can I forget?
Yeah, she just like doesn't run to it and just grab it. Even if it's not clean, she doesn't, she kind of backs up and she's like, do I pick this up? Do I not? Like, what do I do here? So for the past like month, I've just been working on, ever since we went to the Pheasant Ranch, because what had happened is they had kicked up birds, the guy shot them, and the first one that had been shot, she ran over to it, like she marked it perfectly, ran through some cover, found it, and she just like looked at it like it was on fire.
There it is.
Yeah. Okay, it's right here.
Come and get your ass over here. Jesus. I ran all the way out here. People do nothing. You just stand there kicking birds and shit. I'm not touching that.
So by the third one, she was really getting it. And I was really proud because it had been shot over some trees and there was some cover and she had seen it and she knew right where it was. And when she came out of the woods with that thing in her mouth, I was like, there's hope.
Hallelujah. My bird dog is carrying a bird.
Yeah.
She's like, I didn't know you wanted me to bring it back. I've been still taking notes.
Yeah. So ever since that day, and I talked to another gal who had a dog that's a little younger than Raven, lab, and this dog just like loves birds. Like you can just tell she just like loves carrying them around, like da 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 da, just perfect, right? And I asked her, I'm like, hey, how did you get her into picking up birds? Because there's this whole thing in retriever training called force fetch, where you basically teach the dog to pick up what you point to or what you say. When you say fetch, the dog fetches, blah blah blah. And different dogs, because of their breeding, require like less or more or different techniques. And it's this whole friggin' thing that is just a big part of the retriever training. Some dogs need a lot of help, others don't. And so I asked her, I'm like, hey, like, how did you like get her excited about these birds, picking up birds? And she's like, she just did it. And I was like, all right, cool. So ever since that day,
for you.
Yeah, ever since that day, I have just put a ton of work in. So like the next weekend, I hit up some friends like that I knew hunt and got some birds. And then I saved the ones that we had for that weekend that I used for practice. And yeah, like pretty much every day I am like taking them in and out of the freezer, different, like working in the yard, working in the field, like really trying to get Raven into picking them up. And she's doing really, really well. It's just taking a long time, which is, hey, why would it be any easier?
That's what we're used to around here. Yeah, just a lot of shaping and giving the dog time to learn.
Yeah, totally.
Some dogs get things really quickly and some dogs don't, and that's fine, because the ones that don't, we're better trainers for it. That's what I tell myself.
Yeah. All
the time.
Yeah.
That's my pep talk. So yeah, thawing of birds, freezer.
Yep, got another practice this weekend, so I'm hoping my buddies will come through and I'll be able to get some more, keep up with the training. Because again, if I did want to do any field trialing or hunt testing or anything like that, like she has to pick up the real thing. And I don't want to say like yes she will or no she won't, but things are looking a lot better from where they were even a month ago. And it's just literally like every day just practicing. So yeah, whatever you're working on, let this be an inspiration to you. Keep working on it. It takes time, really honestly does. There's no rush.
Somebody out there is like, I just want the dog to sit.
Yeah.
What is this podcast?
What about recalls?
I want my dog to come when they're called.
Same concept, you guys, a little bit every day. Like today, I had a very short window. I groomed a dog and I was like, okay, drive this dog home. So I put Raven in the car. Like got to the field. I had 16 minutes. But I think because I was in a little bit of a rush, I actually got done a
You
good
were
amount
focused?
of work. Yeah, I was focused. What else is going on?
Nothing. I'm totally boring. I had a group of dogs today that I was rotating between 3 groups and I couldn't stand it because this one doesn't get along with this one. This one doesn't get along with that one. So it wasn't just this beautifully cohesive group.
Yeah.
This one, one girl has a problem with another girl. All the older dogs hate puppies. They hate puppies. It's too old for it. They're too grouchy for it to have this puppy just jumping in their face, and it's fine.
Yeah. Good point. Don't let your young dogs torture the old ones. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that at all. I had a young dog, older dog, meet today. Today, Fozzie met Winnie. So Winnie is a 5-year-old Bernedoodle that does not really like other dogs that I walk, and she's sweet with people. But I have a long relationship with the owner, and then I have a new dog named Fozzie who's like 8 months old, and he is a really cool golden doodle puppy. Really like this dog a lot. He's super social, really great with other dogs, good with people. Nice pack drive, nice recall, good obedience. His mom's work really hard, and I had to introduce him today.
This is his Tinder profile.
Yeah, I had to introduce him today, so I was like, it could either go good or not good. Like there are dogs I can't walk with Winnie because they're just like too annoying for her, but it went really well, which I was excited about. So
she probably likes him a little bit more because he's a boy.
Yeah, well, he got in her face and she almost corrected him, but he backed up before she even did anything. So I was like, all right, this dog isn't stupid. And that was that. Carried on. It was a good interaction. But what I did want to talk a little bit about today and get Lori's opinion and just kind of end on this note is, so there are things that happen out in public that I like to talk about on the podcast because I feel like it's just like this endless content loop of stuff because I'm always out and there's just always wild stuff happening. But when I frequent one particular area of the woods, there oftentimes is a dog walker there, and she will be walking 2 or 3 dogs, sometimes just one, but most of the time there's at least 2 labs, mixed breeds, whatever. But there's a couple of dogs that she walks, and when she walks them, she has a ChuckIt stick in her hand with a ball in the ChuckIt, and she will throw the ChuckIt ball for one of the labs. I think there's actually like a couple of these dogs that she throws for. And she'll be walking, and as my group is kind of walking towards her group, she'll continue to throw the ball. And, well, that's all I'll say about it. Oh, Lori, I want you to give your feedback on the situation just as it stands right now. If you saw someone in the woods coming toward you throwing a ChuckIt ball for their dog, and that ball was kind of getting closer and closer to you as you were approaching,
I would walk away.
Well, you always walk away, right?
Why would I walk into it?
I know, but if you
Let me
could
see
give
if
her
one of my dogs will take the ball, and then we can all get into our little resource guarding fight with your stupid, your whole pack, and then my pack, and then my, psycho Rottweiler's going to be like, something's flying through the air. Let me catch that.
Yeah.
And then everyone gets into a dither.
Yeah.
And then there's all this ballyhoo.
That's for real.
Yeah. We don't need that. I don't need that. And
Yeah.
plus, you're in the woods. Isn't the whole point of the woods to let your dog sniff and smell and be happy and enjoy Mother Earth? And instead, here I am chucking the stupid ass tennis ball that I could have done in my backyard.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about when people bring it to a dog park.
Oh dear. Well, that's a whole other
I
story.
want to play ball with my dog, so I do it at the dog park. And can you believe this other dog had the nerve to run up to us? Yes, you jackass. You're in a public space. The dog has every, when you're at a dog park, that's a fenced in area where stranger dogs go, and you throw a ball, you're asking for it.
Yeah.
You chooch.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is exactly.
Maybe I'm wrong,
It's exactly my sentiment.
but I'm not.
Yeah. So if I'm walking and I have great control over my dogs because I walk small groups, I train them, and I've been working with them for a long time, and I go to pull over in the woods and I have 2 labs and they see a ball flying through the air, getting closer to them, and they're like, oh yeah, I want that.
Olive would want it.
She's literally the dog that's in my mind right now.
And she'd lay it down. She'd be
Right.
like, let's go. You want to
Right.
mess with me?
Right.
Let's do it.
Right. So all of a sudden we now have a resource that not just your dog wants, but my dog wants too. And they don't know each other. And if you don't have good control over your dog, and if I didn't have good control over my dog, like that could be a disaster. And I think from the handler's point of view, it's like, who cares? I'm just having fun with my dogs in the woods. It's like no big deal. They love to do this. Why wouldn't I continue this game while we're walking in the woods? And my answer to that would be because you don't know who's around, and it is a resource, and a lot of dogs have ball drive. So,
Or maybe just put it away if you're passing somebody. You see
Yeah.
somebody coming.
stop tossing it around.
Yeah, imagine you throw it and you hit some lady or a guy with their walking sticks.
I know. With the floppy hat and the
Yeah, they're like, we're going up the mountain. Just get your walking sticks. I mean, that's another. But real, just put your balls away.
Yeah.
Put your balls away for the walk. For just a little portion if you see other dogs come in.
Yeah.
Don't think, let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you have trouble with dogs, like if you're a walker or you are an owner that went to a dog park, this and that, and there's some sort of problem, it's never a bad idea to just ask yourself, like, was there a resource involved? Was there a ball? Was there another toy? Was there an area even of the dog park or the space that you're in that could possibly have kind of added a little bit of fuel to the fire? That's something that happens pretty regularly when there is some sort of altercation between dogs. So Yeah, definitely pay attention to the resources that you're carrying when you're out in public. And that could be treats too. Like if you're holding on to treats and you like are tossing them for your dog and it doesn't land in your dog's mouth. All right, what else you got to say about this, Lori? Anything?
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Yeah, you like to keep your distance.
I don't, as soon as I see somebody coming, I just walk the other way, unless it's just a person. I see dogs, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
For sure.
Because, or I walk completely, I don't know, like 20 feet to the left or right of them.
Oh, totally.
I'll do anything to get out of their way.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of going deep into the woods, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't want to say hi. I just don't, because I really feel like I need to, I just don't want to have any issues.
Completely.
I'm a better safe than sorry person.
I am turning into a better safe than sorry person. Not with this issue per se, because I'm always pretty safe, but the longer I spend hanging out with dogs and the more I see there being a potential for something going on, the more I'm like ratcheting this thing down, safety first.
Yeah, I think once you see a dog fight or
a dog bite.
Yeah, and
you get bit by a dog.
And I've seen it on. I remember all the dog fights I had to break up. It's really something. But I have a intact male Rottweiler, and there's going to be a problem. I just know it. Even if he pounces on the other dog, I know there's going to be a problem. I mean, meanwhile, I could be in, like I said, I could be in an AKC event, and there's not an issue, not a thing. But I just rather not find out. And I don't want to put that on somebody else either and scare the crap out of them when they see this big black bear next to me. And yeah, I don't want to. Safe than sorry.
Yeah, totally.
You just have a few experiences and then you become like me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the most important thing for me is learning from mistakes, because we're all going to have them. It's just a matter of learning and not making the same mistake twice, which sometimes I do make the same mistake twice too, but I'm working on it. What I also wanted to add is that the Canine Toss and Fetch League that I captain in Framingham is going to be firing up the torpedoes, and we have...
Launch the torpedoes!
Full steam ahead.
Frisbee time!
It's Frisbee time. So this week does not feel like spring. It feels like a continuation of winter. We got some snow coming on Saturday. And yeah, it was freezing, wicked windy today. No hikes for me today. Spent all my time on the streets because
on the streets
for safety. But yeah, Canine Toss and Fetch Monday Night Frisbee League. If anybody new is interested in checking out the sport, hit me up. I'm happy to do a consultation and evaluation to see if you and your dog would be a good fit for the sport. It's super duper fun. We have a relatively small league. It's something that I'm really proud of, and I really look forward to every week once the spring and summer hit. We had an awesome year last year. We'll be playing 3 sessions this year, so it's going to be 15 weeks. Very affordable, very fun. It obviously is a high criteria, so your dog has to be able to catch a Frisbee and you have to be able to throw a Frisbee. And
they can't run away. If you fall into that category and you want to come out on Monday nights and have some fun with us, please reach out to me. Again, great group of people. I'm so happy to have the team that we do. It's very, very fun. That being said, I also focus on the development aspect of it. So I try to get new people into the sport because I see a lot of potential when I do private classes with people, and I can tell like, hey, this dog and this person might be really good for it, and I love to grow the sport. So maybe even Lori will join us for our first session if we need a boost in the numbers. She played last year with Buddha. It was really fun. I would visit and add commentary. Why don't you like to play with Buddha? I do other things. That's true. He's good at it, though. He's all right. Yeah, he is. He's all right. He's something to watch, too. I can't throw. I know, because all these agile... like flying through the air. Buddha's, he's a fit dog, but It's a lot of weight to be flying around in the air catching frisbees.
Yeah.
Plus, he annihilates every frisbee he gets. It's like he's doing bite work out there.
Yeah. So there's one type of frisbee that works for a dog like Buddha. It's called a Hyperflight Jaws disc, and it's pretty indestructible. I think both Colton and Buddha have started to put holes in theirs, but it doesn't get any tougher than that. The canine jaws and the Hyperflight Jaws, and I have a few on order. I just put a wholesale order in, so I'm going to be able to provide that to the team at a discount, which I'm super psyched about. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have some swag and clothes coming this year too. I don't want to promise anything, but I have a couple of ideas in the works, which I'm very, very much excited about.
You need club fees.
Yeah, we're gonna get a club together. I think
for those goodies.
Maybe not this year, maybe next year. Well, everybody pays for it. It's just the effort that it takes to get everything together.
I hear you.
So, yeah, excited. So that'll wrappy pappy for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. Please share, subscribe, and like if you are into what you're hearing, if you have gotten anything of value out of today's episode or any prior episodes. And we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.